to 900. The 10 shuttling that we are doing a day was reduced, Mr. President, 2 times in a day. And I was made aware that while the railway was working on full capacity, they were, of course, creating a revenue of close to 1.8 billion monthly.
Corroborating the concerns, Senator Adamu Aliru said the reduction in trips was partly due to extensive damage to rail infrastructure caused by bandit attacks.
It is true that the number of trips has dropped drastically from 5 to only 1. And this is simply because the bandits have damaged the truck and they have vandalized the trucks, and it takes a lot of time and resources, and these resources are not available. As you rightly know, even contractors that have finished their jobs, they are now finding it difficult to get paid. So the same problem is now extending to the services like Nigerian Railway Corporation. We are on it.
In his remarks, Senate President Godswill Akpabio said the challenges are not primarily about funding, but rather the age and quality of the rail network, with some sections deemed substandard. He stressed that a comprehensive legislative inquiry is needed to examine how railway contracts are awarded, executed, and maintained, aiming to ensure safety, efficiency, and accountability across the sector.
We have a responsibility as a Senate, founded in the Nigerian Constitution, to ask questions, to look into these things, and to correct them. We have always said that we're a corrective parliament. So we must look into these things and let Nigerians know where they went wrong. And if there are people that kept the money for us, saved the money for us to buy the second-hand ones, then we get them to bring back the money.
The investigation is expected to cover project design, funding execution standards, and maintenance structures. Abuja, Godwin Amundi, Rapid Television News.
The House of Representatives on Wednesday passed for second reading the 58.47 trillion naira appropriation bill for the 2026 fiscal year. During the debate, House Leader Julius Ihobere emphasized that development without sustainability is merely temporary, highlighting that economic growth often requires difficult adjustments, especially in light of what he described as distorted and disarticulated institutions and structures inherited by the current administration. He called on lawmakers to support the proposal, noting that a large portion of the budget had already been discussed during the previous fiscal year. After the debate, the Speaker put the question to a voice vote, and lawmakers unanimously passed the 2026 appropriation bill for second reading, moving it a step closer to becoming law. Our correspondent, Nathan Williams, reports.
Mr. Speaker, we use the word development sometimes rather loosely. Development that is not sustainable is only temporary, it's no development at all. And you cannot have development without growth. And the process of promoting growth is very challenging, difficult, painful. And that is what we are going through at the moment. And it can be more painful if you inherited distorted and disarticulated institutions and structures of power, politics, and economy, which was exactly the case with the present administration when it came into office. Nobody has ever promised that the journey to restructuring and repositioning and refocusing our political economy would not be painless. Nobody has ever made that promise.
Coordinator Williams reported that the bill will now proceed to committee for further scrutiny before the final reading, as lawmakers continue preparations for detailed budget defense sections. The House of Representatives has been urged to take steps toward resolving the backlog of bills currently pending before the Senate, as concerns grow over delays affecting national development. Raising the issue during Wednesday's plenary, a lawmaker noted that several bills amended and transmitted by the House have remained unattended to by the Senate for 3 consecutive assemblies, dating back to the 8th Assembly. A correspondent again, Nathan Williams, reports.
The lawmaker representing Andoni Okpubu, Nkoro Federal Constituency, Honorable Awaji Nambek Abiante, met the court during plenary on Wednesday, citing some bills, including the closed-circuit television CCTV bill, which, according to him, will enhance intelligence gathering for the security of Nigerians, and the Sea Fishery Act of 1974, which provides only 50,000 naira as fine for illegal fishing, is still pending in the Red Chamber.
Most of our bills as passed here to better the lot of Nigeria and Nigerians are usually not given attention from the Senate. It is still a worry. It is still a concern. I am not asking for an update. Mr. Speaker, I want to put it on record and reference some very critical bills that are still lying where I do not know. We have raised issues of security here. Mr. Speaker, there is a bill before the Senate, and that bill intends to make the provision of closed-circuit televisions compulsory in all public places. Heads of intelligence units in the various services had made contributions towards this bill. But as we speak, the bill is still lying somewhere for reasons I do not know.
After responding to the concerns raised by the lawmaker, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who presided over plenary, also announced that the debate on the general principle of 2026 budget will commence tomorrow, Thursday, 29th January 2026. The announcement followed the introduction for second reading of the 2026 appropriation bill by the Deputy Speaker. Kalu urged lawmakers to study the budget document to enable them make informed contributions.
The leadership have noted what you said, and I'm sure that the chairman rules and business knows what to do with regards to some of the issues that you raise, outstanding bills that are before the Senate, and these are very important bills that will help this nation. And I'm aware of these bills that he referred to and the journey of some of these bills. Please prioritize them and let us have a feedback by next week. If you are in session, if not so, after the budget, we need to see how far they have progressed. We debate on this budget by tomorrow. So I expect us to prepare and handle it.
President Bola Tinubu on Friday, December 19, 2025, presented the 58.18 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill to a joint session of the National Assembly, vowing that 2026 will mark a decisive shift towards stronger discipline in budget execution and result-driven governance. Nathan Williams, Rapid TV, Abuja.
The National Assembly, in collaboration with the Northwest Development Commission, will host a one-day Northwest Stakeholders Development Summit in Kaduna State on 31st January 2026. The summit, termed Advancing a Coordinated Regional Development Agenda for Northwest Nigeria, will be held at the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Conference Center and is designed to bring together governors, lawmakers, traditional leaders, development partners, and representatives from civil society, academia, and the private sector to discuss the region's development priorities. According to the chairman of the Senate and House committees on the Northwest Development Commission, the summit will provide a platform for dialogue on challenges such as insecurity, infrastructure gaps, and youth unemployment, while fostering coordinated action and stronger partnerships. Outcomes from the summit are expected to guide the Commission's programs and interventions across the 7 Northwest states, supporting sustainable regional growth. The Abia State House of Assembly has begun debate on a bill aimed at reforming the state's criminal justice system. Lawmakers say the proposed legislation seeks to modernize the legal framework, strengthen justice delivery, and boost public confidence in the courts while safeguarding citizens' rights. Our correspondent Faith report.
In Abia State, a major step is being taken towards reshaping the criminal justice system. Lawmakers at the Abia State House of Assembly have begun deliberations on a new criminal justice bill aimed at reforming and modernizing existing criminal laws in the state. The bill, known as HAB1, was moved by the majority leader of the House, Honorable Okoro Uchenna Kalu, and immediately drew wide support from members across constituencies.
HAB2 for me is actually apt and very timely. My Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, this bill seeks to improve the administration of the criminal justice system in our Abia State in order to ensure speedy dispensation of criminal cases before our law courts. The bill also seeks to minimize crimes in our state and to protect the rights and interests of the complainants, defendants, suspects, and witnesses, as well as ensure that all parties in criminal cases before our law courts have access to fair hearing and justice. Like I said, it is very apt and timely. My Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, I seek our consent for the passage of this bill. Thank you.
During plenary, lawmakers described the proposed law as timely and necessary, noting that current criminal laws no longer fully reflect today's social realities. They identified gaps in the existing framework, including delays in trials and challenges in interpreting outdated provisions. According to the legislators, the new bill seeks to promote speedy dispensation of justice, protect fundamental human rights, and clearly distinguish minor and civil offenses from criminal offenses.
Mr. Speaker, in simple terms, criminal justice law simply means reformation, updating, and the handling of criminal acts. The Criminal Justice Bill, so to say, is to be able to administrate the laws that will handle crimes in the state. Mr. Speaker, this criminal justice law or bill, if passed into law, will in several dimensions help both the justice sector, the police sector, and every other organ of the government that is to handle the administration of law, criminal law in the state. Mr. Speaker, if we pass the criminal bill into law without looking at the administration of the criminal bill, there is going to be a lot of issues in handling it.
Despite its volume and complexity, the House expressed readiness to give the bill accelerated consideration, stressing that effective administration will be key once it becomes law. For now, deliberations continue as the House moves closer to what lawmakers describe as a more responsive and modern criminal justice system for Abia State. Faith Kevin, reporting for Rapid TV News.
Residents of Ohafia in Abia State are facing a growing threat from severe erosion along Elu Amuke Road. The menace has destroyed farmlands, economic trees, and critical infrastructure, disrupting the community's social and economic activities. In response, Honorable Kalu Mbah, representing Ohafia South in the Abia State House of Assembly, raised urgent concerns during plenary. Our correspondent again, Faith Kelvin, reports.
Erosion has taken a heavy toll on the Elu Amuke Road in Ohafia, swallowing farmlands and disrupting the daily lives of residents. The road, vital for local transportation and economic activities, has fallen into a state of severe disrepair, threatening the community's very foundation. Honorable Kalumba, representing Ohafia South, raised the alarm during plenary, pointing out that the site had once been earmarked for intervention under the European Union's political interference.
My name is Honorable Carlo Paolo. Mr. Speaker, I am standing to move this urgent matter of public importance before the House, relating and requesting the House to support me in asking NUMA to consider re-including the Amuke stroke Elu roads, which had initially been, every process by NUMA had already been done. Unfortunately, one of their project directors, due to some political vested interest, removed it from their list. So my personal findings through their office directed that I should move this motion here.
The lawmaker is now calling on the Assembly to push for the roads reinstatement in the upcoming 2026 intervention plans to prevent further damage, as residents of Ohafia are now anxiously awaiting a response, hoping for immediate action to safeguard their livelihoods.
And I would urge each and every one of us to give this bill the desired attention it needs, as Abidjans will be happy about it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Faith Kevin, reporting for Rapid TV News.
Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has warned private schools and shop owners across the state that they will risk being shut if they fail to resume operations on Monday. The warning comes after waves of sit-at-home protests disrupted economic activities, including key markets such as the main market in Onitsha. Governor Soludo described the closures as a threat to the state's economic stability and the welfare of its people, calling the situation a struggle for the soul of Anambra's future. The governor criticized the idea of limited school days, insisting that all private schools must operate Monday through Friday. He stressed that reopening schools and market is vital to protect the economy, support traders, farmers and families, and reassure investors that Anambra remains open for business. Soludo emphasized that the government remains committed to safeguarding the welfare and security of its citizens while ensuring the state's economic activities continue uninterrupted. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has completed preparations for the Kano State House of Assembly by-elections in Kano Municipal and Ongugu constituencies. The polls became necessary following the deaths of the lawmakers representing the two areas, creating vacancies in the state legislature. The resident electoral commissioner, Ambassador Abdullahi Zango, says over 10 political parties have indicated interest in participating and assured that INEC is fully prepared to conduct a smooth and credible election. He urged eligible voters to turn out in large numbers, assuring a level playing field for all contestants. The by-elections are expected to restore fair representation in the Assembly and strengthen grassroots democracy. The Kano People's Rights Alliance, KPRA, has condemned what it described as the inconsistent stance of Senator Rufai Hanga over Governor Abba Kabi Yusuf's reported defection from the New Nigeria People's Party to the All Progressives Congress. The group said the senator previously criticized the Kwankwasia movement led by former Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, calling it a cult group, but later praised its influence while attacking Governor Yusuf. KPRA accused Senator Hanga of lacking consistency, integrity and accountability, warning that such contradictory positions raised serious concerns about his credibility and confused constituents. The alliance also highlighted corruption allegations involving the senator's family, citing a petition to the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences commissioned by a former aide. The petition accuses Senator Hanga's son of allegedly misappropriating a federal project worth over 250 million naira. KPRA called on the senator to address these allegations openly, take responsibility for his past statements, and urge Kano residents to demand accountability and ethical conduct from their public officials. Workers of the Federal Capital Territory Administration FCTA under the Joint Union Action Committee JUAN resumed their indefinite strike on Thursday, which they had initially begun on January 19th over unresolved welfare issues. Only a few staff were seen at FCTA's secretariats, departments and agencies, in line with the JUAN directives to stay at home. The strike follows the union's appeal of the National Industrial Court ruling on January 27th, which had directed workers to suspend the strike and adjourned the matter to March 23rd. JUAN Secretary Abdullahi Saleh urged workers to remain united and committed to the strike, while the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress supported the action, insisting it would continue until FCT Minister Nyesom Wike engages in further negotiations. About 500 lawyers stormed the Federal Ministry of Finance in Abuja, demanding the payment of outstanding debts allegedly owned to indigenous contractors by the federal government. The lawmakers say the unpaid obligations, estimated at over 4 trillion naira, are pushing contractors and their families into severe financial distress. Operating under the banner Concerned Lawyers for Probity and Justice, the protesters said they were acting in solidarity with indigenous contractors who claim they are yet to be paid for completed capital projects. The protest was organized in collaboration with the Enough is Enough movement and the All Indigenous Contractors Association of Nigeria, ICANN. According to the contractors, though partial payments were made after protest in December 2025, most verified debts remain unpaid, worsening economic hardship across the sector. The demonstration follows a series of recent protests by contractors, including earlier blockades of the ministerial entrance that reportedly prevented the minister from accessing her office, with security operatives allegedly firing shots into the air to disperse crowd. A Department of State Services investigator told the Federal High Court in Abuja on Thursday that several rescued victims of the 2022 Abuja-Kaduna train attack filed written complaints against alleged terrorist negotiator Tukul Mamu. The witness, who appeared behind the protective screen for security reasons, said he interviewed 6 victims during the investigation and confirmed that audio evidence submitted by the prosecution was a transcription of conversations between Mamu and the terrorist. During cross-examination, the witness said high-ranking military officials, including Generals Abdul Kadir Abubakar and Jalingo, were interviewed, but none were interviewed in Mamu's presence. He also confirmed that Mamu had claimed his income came from his journalism business. The court adjourned the matter until April 23rd, when the defendant is expected to begin his defense. Troops of the Nigerian Army have recovered the bodies of a commanding officer, a major, and 6 other soldiers killed by Boko Haram insurgents in the Damasak area of Borno State. Earlier reports indicated that the soldiers were killed during an attack on Monday, and the commanding officer, along with 12 others, were believed to have been captured. Security sources later confirmed that the officer, 7 soldiers, and 2 members of the Civilian Joint Task Force were all killed by the insurgents. The bodies were recovered after a ground battle supported by air operations, during which insurgents attempted to ambush troops. Some of the bodies were found after insurgents had hidden in surrounding bushes. Reinforcements forced the attackers to retreat, and the recovered bodies were airlifted to Maiduguri. According to sources, the soldiers were advancing toward a major terrorist camp between Damasak and Gaidam when they were encircled and fired upon by insurgents who appeared to have prior knowledge of the operation. The Media Rights Agenda, MRA, says it's documented 86 attacks against journalists, media organizations, and citizens across Nigeria in 2025. The organization, in its 2025 annual report titled The Reign of Impunity, revealed that the Nigerian police force was the worst offender, responsible for 41 of the incidents, or nearly half of all attacks. The Department of State Services followed with 7% of cases, while Lagos State and the Federal Capital Territory recorded the highest number of violations. None of the incidents, the report noted, resulted in successful investigations or prosecutions. The report highlighted that arrests, detentions, and suppressions of expression were the most common forms of attacks, with 21 cases of physical assault, 2 killings, 1 kidnapping, and 1 media outlet shutdown also recorded. MRA's Executive Director, Editen Ojo, warned that a culture of impunity continues to threaten media freedom, emboldening perpetrators and fostering fear among journalists. He urged the government to ensure prompt investigations, prevent harassment, and established a national mechanism to protect journalists, in line with the UN Plan of Action on the Safety of Journalists. The Federal Capital Territory High Court has fixed 10 additional days to conclude the trial of former Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele over charges arising from the Naira redesign policy. Justice Marian Aneni said the dates by agreement of both parties, urging counsel to adhere strictly to the schedule so the trial, which began in 2024, can be completed. At the proceedings, an EFCC witness confirmed that the presidency under former President Muhammadu Buhari approved the Naira redesign, but directed that the currency be printed locally. The witness also told the court that Emefiele made several extrajudicial statements during investigations, as cross-examination was adjourned to February 3rd. You're still watching Rapid Television News. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, the news continues shortly. Don't go away.
In a world where every swipe, click, or tap is shaping our future, technology is no longer a distant dream. It is the heartbeat of Africa and the world at large. From innovations to gadgets to startups and digital lifestyles, Tech Up with Victor takes you round. A show that makes technology simple, practical, and exciting for everyone. Join us every week on Rapid TV as we break down tech trends, spotlight African innovators, and connect Africa's digital story to the global stage. Tech Up with Victor, where innovation meets you.
From the soil beneath our feet to the tables across the world, agriculture is the heartbeat of Nigeria's future. Yet challenges persist: limited finance, outdated methods, policy gaps, and untapped opportunities. The Green Line is here to change that. A groundbreaking weekly television feature that connects policy with practice, farmers with markets, and innovation with impact. We dig deep into the full agricultural value chain, from land preparation to mechanization, financing, food preservation, exports, and beyond. The Green Line isn't just a show, it's a national development platform. Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. only on Rapid TV, Star Times Channel 176, and online at www.rbnradiotv.com.
Correro, your front row seats to the most pressing issues, from the corridors of power to the heart of our communities. We bring you unfiltered insight, fearless journalism, and the conversations that matter. And I invite you to this big conversation table as we analyze the top stories, ask the tough questions, and hold power to account. News that informs, analysis that empowers, debate that drives change. Correro, the big conversation, every weekday at 7 p.m. only on Rapid TV.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
My name is Faith Dafa Joseph. Name is Martha Alu.
My name is Victor Arke.
My name is Divine Alex.
My name is Esther Omen.
My name is Arthur James Brooks.
My name is Godwin Sunday.
I am Ijoma Victor.
My name is Cynthia Agbo.
Josephine Bitru.
I bet you already know that this is
Rapid Television.
If you're just joining us, you're still on to Rapid Television News. Now let's move on to some business stories. The federal government has lowered entry barriers for its latest oil and gas licensing round, offering 50 blocks for bidding to attract new investment, boost output, and ensure transparency. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, announced that signature bonuses for the 2025 round have been reduced to between $3 and $7 million, down from $10 million in 2024, with greater emphasis on technical capability, credible work programs, and speed to production rather than aggressive cash bids. The blocks include onshore, shallow water frontier basins, and one deep water block. NUPRC Chief Executive Officer Urid Semeyiwa Eyesan assured investors that the round will be fully digital, merit-based, and overseen by NATE and other agencies for transparency. The process spans 5 stages, including registration, technical and commercial bid evaluation, and compliance with the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. The initiative aims to increase oil output to 2.7 million barrels per day by 2027, attract long-term global investment, and strengthen Nigeria's energy security. Up next, more business reports coming your way.
This is the Business News Update. I am Divine Alex. Today, we begin with Nigeria's debt and fiscal position as pressure mounts on government finances. Nigeria's rising debt burden is drawing renewed scrutiny from economists. Debt servicing continues to absorb a large share of government revenue. Analysts warn that weak revenue growth limits fiscal flexibility, and borrowing remains a key funding source for budget execution. Experts say improving revenue efficiency is now more urgent than new loans, and the calls are growing for deeper structural reforms to stabilize public finances. Still in Nigeria, attention shifts to the foreign exchange markets as business planning. Businesses say currency stability remains critical for cost planning. The importers continue to face uncertainty in sourcing foreign exchange, and manufacturers CFX volatility affects pricing and production decisions. Exporters are calling for sustained reforms to improve competitiveness. Market watchers note gradual improvement in FX market transparency, while economists say sustained stability would support investment confidence. Global markets remain cautious on policy uncertainty. The global equities traded mixed as investors reassessed growth expectations. Central banks' next policy moves remain a major focus. The oil prices fluctuated amid concerns over global demand, while commodity markets showed uneven performance across regions. The emerging markets remained sensitive to global financial conditions, and analysts say uncertainty will continue to shape global business sentiment. And that's the business news update. For more stories, follow us across our digital platforms. I am Divine Alex. Good evening. Now, the Rapid TV News Hour continues. Stay with us.
China has executed 11 people linked to telecom scam operations. State media reported on Thursday as Beijing intensifies its crackdown on transnational fraud networks. The executed individuals were sentenced in September by a court in Wenzhou for crimes including intentional homicide, fraud, unlawful detention, and running illegal casinos. Among them were key members of the notorious Mink family criminal group, responsible for multiple deaths and injuries. The Supreme People's Court approved the executions after reviewing evidence of crimes committed since 2015. These scam operations, often based in Myanmar's lawless border regions, target victims worldwide through fake romantic relationships and cryptocurrency schemes. Many of the workers are either willing participants or trafficked foreign nationals forced to operate the fraud centers. Experts say the Chinese-led syndicates often collaborate with local militias, and Beijing has stepped up regional cooperation to dismantle such operations. United Nations has warned that cyber scam networks are spreading globally, affecting Africa, South America, Europe, and other regions. Let's now take you to the foreign scene for more global updates.
Good evening and welcome to the international news. First in Niger, where a report described a period of sustained gunfire and loud explosions near the Diori Hamani International Airport outside Niamey, with multiple eyewitnesses' accounts and videos showing air defense systems engaging unidentified projectiles in the early hours of Thursday. After several hours, residents said the situation had calmed down and officials stated that the situation was under control. Though details were not provided, authorities and security sources have not issued a formal explanation for the blasts, and there was no confirmed information about casualties. The military government, which has not issued an official statement, was not represented in the immediate remarks available to reporters. Residents near the airport, which hosts an Air Force base and lies about 10 kilometers from the presidential palace, described the disturbance as beginning shortly after midnight and subsiding after roughly 2 hours. Niger's neighbors Burkina Faso and Mali have faced similar security challenges from jihadist groups. Separately, Niger has faced questions over a stalled uranium shipment destined for export amid unresolved legal and diplomatic issues with France after nationalization of uranium mines. An official from the Foreign Affairs Ministry said that investigators were assessing whether the gunfire was linked to the Iranian movement. Niger is led by Abdourahmane Tiani, who seized power in 2023. Now to UK, where a London court heard this week that a former Nigerian oil minister conducted lavish shopping sprees in high-end stores in London using money allegedly supplied by industry insiders seeking Nigerian government contracts. Diezani Alison Madueke, who served as the Nigeria's Minister of Petroleum Resources from 2010 to 2015, faces 5 counts of bribery charges and a conspiracy to commit bribery accusation. which she denies. Prosecutors allege that during a 2012 to 2013 period, Alison Madueke was accompanied by Nigerian businessman Kolawole Aluko and a security guard on visits to Harrods, Vincenzo Caffarella and Thomas Good, where items such as rugs, lamps, tables and other luxury goods were purchased. They claim totals amounting to hundreds of thousands of pounds were charged by Aluko and other businessmen with interest in state contract, while Alison Madueke reportedly did not pay for these items personally. Witnesses described the minister as extremely glamorous during the Harrods visit, and court records noted recurring London purchases for properties associated with the former minister. The defence contends that the charges are unfounded. The trial, including testimony from other accused individuals, is expected to continue through till April. Finally to China, where British Prime Minister Keir Starmer told Chinese President Xi Jinping that he aims to build a sophisticated relationship with Beijing to promote growth and security, signalling a reset after years of strained ties. On the opening day of his 4-day visit, the first by a British Prime Minister in 8 years, Starmer held an 80-minute summit with Xi at the Great Hall of the People before a working lunch, ahead of a later meeting with Premier Li Qiang. Starmer, whose Labour government has prioritised boosting growth, has made improved relations with the world's second largest economy a central objective, while acknowledging ongoing concerns about espionage and human rights. He said China is a vital global actor and the collaboration should be pursued where possible with frank dialogue on disagreements. Xi acknowledged past twists and turns in bilateral ties and expressed willingness to develop a long-term strategic partnership. The two leaders were accompanied by senior ministers, and Starmer's delegation included more than 50 business figures, signalling expectations of economic commitments. Authorities said Britain and China would jointly address migrant smuggling through shared intelligence and advanced manufacturing cooperation, while Starmer planned to raise human rights concerns as appropriate. Thanks for being part of the news. Have a very restful evening. I am Arthur James Brooks.
Thanks very much, Arthur James Brooks, for that global news. Now let's move on to some entertainment stories.
Welcome to the entertainment segment. From record-breaking Nollywood success to headline-making celebrities and global stars embracing Africa, the entertainment scene is buzzing. Here are the stories making waves. The Nigerian Film Operation, NFC, has congratulated actress and filmmaker Funke Akindele after her movie Behind the Scene crossed the 2 million naira market at the box office, the first Nollywood film to achieve its feat across Africa. Meanwhile, NFC boss Ali Nuhu praised the film's strong performance locally and abroad, especially in the UK and Ireland, crediting its success to strong storytelling, smart distribution, and the dedication of the cast and crew. In a related development, comedian and former BB Naija housemate D1 said he has been invited by the Nigerian Police Force Intelligence Department for the authorized described as a routine fact-finding interview. Resetting, D1 linked the invitation to a recent viral video he posted, insisting he expressed personal view as a citizen, did not do anything wrong, and he will honor the police invitation on Monday while keeping the public updates. On the global scene, American YouTube and live stream star Ice Show Speed has been granted Ghanaian citizenship after completing a month-long African tour that took him to 20 countries. According to the Ghanaian Foreign Affairs Minister, the move alleged with the country beyond the routine initiative, praising the 21-year-old influencer for positively showcasing African culture to his own 50 million YouTube followers. And that's a wrap on entertainment, where talents break record, voices spark conversation, and African continue to share on the global stage. I am Victoria Ade.
Now let's take you to some sports stories. Super Eagles forward Samuel Chukwueze is mourning the death of his mother, Mrs. Sarah Chukwueze, following a brief illness. While the AC Milan winger has not made a public statement, the news was first shared by his brother, David Chukwueze, who posted emotional tribute on Instagram reflecting the family's grief. The development was later confirmed by the National Sports Commission on Thursday, noting that Mrs. Chukwueze played a vital role in supporting her son's football career. In its statement, the Commission described her as a strong figure whose guidance and encouragement contributed to the success of one of Nigeria's top football talents. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has handed down heavy sanctions following chaotic scenes at the African Cup of Nations final between Senegal and Morocco in Rabat. Senegal coach Pape Thiaw was banned for 5 CAF matches, while players from both teams received suspensions for unsporting conduct. CAF also fined the Senegal Football Federation $615,000 over misconduct by players and officials. Morocco were equally punished, with defender Akraf Hakimi and forward Ismail Saibari suspended, while the Moroccan FA was fined for crowd trouble, ball boys' behavior, and interference with VAR officials. Despite the controversy, Senegal went on to win the final 1-0 after extra time, securing their second AFCON title. Meanwhile, the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco set a new digital milestone, generating 6.1 billion digital impressions and 5.2 billion video views across social media, nearly tripling the engagement of the 2023 edition. CAF hailed the tournament as a global digital phenomenon, highlighting unprecedented fan interaction and content sharing, particularly among the African diaspora. Fans drove the boost with 285 million engagements and over 1 million TikTok videos under Total Energies AFCON 2025, covering goals, behind-the-scenes moments, music, fashion, and humor. The tournament ran from December 21st to January 18, with Senegal winning the title, Morocco finishing second, and Nigeria claiming third place. And that's about the size of the news tonight. But before we go, a recap of our major stories. Senate sets up committee on Electoral Act Amendment Bill. In the news, we also told you that Soludo threatens to shut schools over Monday sit at home. Federal government cuts cost as 50 oil blocks open for bidding. China executes 11 over transnational scam operations. And in sport, we told you that Super Eagles star Chukwueze loses mother. Thanks for being with us tonight. My name is Godwin Amundi. Have yourself a lovely night rest.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices on Rapid.